such a strange and amusing place. One day you buy 'em rocket ship underpants, and then the next they're in outer space. Mama, don't you know you keep the whole world turning?
As moms, we know how important it is to stay connected to our family and friends.
With technology changing as quickly as it does, and with all these new social networks popping up, it's hard to keep on top of everything and know what our kids are up to.
So we've invited Mom and Microsoft spokesperson Marty Collins to come and talk to us about all of the fun and new exciting things happening online and the different ways we can stay connected with our family and friends. Of course, she's in Seattle and we're not.
But it doesn't matter, because with technology, she may as well be right here with us.
Marty, welcome to MommyCast. We're so excited to have you here today.
Thanks for having me. I'm really looking forward to it.
I think, there's a lot of stuff happening out there on the web. There's a lot of social networking, Facebook, Twitter, and it's all very overwhelming. And I think people are really looking for a way to kind of
Simplify
right. And get a handle on it. What do you see happening out there?
Yeah, that's really true. There's a whole bunch of social activity going on the web right now, and there's lots of different great social sharing sites where people can share photos, they can share blogs, they share updates on status of what they're doing. And the challenge with all of that sharing is that how do you know where to go for any one person's information? So what Windows Live does to sort of bring all that sharing together in one place is what we call the Windows Live profile. So if you have a Facebook page, and if you have a Twitter profile, and if you're sharing pictures on Flickr, or playlists on Pandora, all of that information can be brought together on Windows Live, where if you're visiting your son's page or he's visiting your profile, you guys can have a snapshot look of what's happening across the web in their social networks.
It's been great to be able to kind of keep tabs of my teenager who, when he comes home is like, I can't get very much information.
It's like, hello,
out of
my
him.
baby, hello, my darling,
Yeah,
ribbit.
Right.
All I get is ribbit.
So, but I've also really enjoyed, because there's a lot of moms who are really getting into the social networking, especially like on Facebook.
Right.
I've really enjoyed the camaraderie there. The support network that you can build
right.
there. I think that's one thing that moms have really been kind of craving.
Right.
But I think we both feel very overwhelmed with all of the different things that are happening.
There's probably a large group of parents who are just kind of baffled as to what's going on, what this is all about. What are some of the common mistakes that you see parents making?
That's a great question. I think probably mistake number one is not paying enough attention, assuming that the children are going to understand the security and privacy levels that need to be set and used across the web. So I think number one is being involved, being aware. In my house, we happen to have a rule that we don't have computers in any of the bedrooms. So all of our computers are in public spaces where you can always see what people are doing on the computer. I get asked by different moms if they should let their children be on the social networks, and Facebook in particular. And my advice to them is, I think that absolutely your children should be learning about the social web. It's certainly not going anywhere. It's only going to become more social and more dynamic. But at the same time, you should absolutely be aware and involved in what they're doing. So you should be allowed to be a friend or a follower of theirs in that network. So if they join any social network, the rules should be that your parents get to friend you or follow you as well in that social network. So then you always see what they're doing and who's talking to them.
One of the things that I have done is a lot of my friends who are on Facebook have also friended my child.
Right.
And I have friended their children. So we kind of have a mom's network.
It's a village.
Yeah, it's looking out for the kids online.
Right.
And I have actually emailed Paige and said, hey, I saw this come
Your son's
through.
doing something wrong.
I think your son's involved in something he shouldn't be.
Wow.
I know a lot of parents just say, well, I'm just not going to let my child do it.
Yeah, that's
and
a mistake.
I think that's a big mistake, because I do agree with you. It's not going anywhere.
Right.
But I also think that this is kind of how kids are communicating now. So it would be the equivalent of saying to them, you
can't have play dates.
You can't have play dates. You can't talk to any of your friends, because this is what they're doing.
Right, it's true, and it's an interesting dynamic. When websites where you could buy things first came online, everybody thought that the bricks and mortar, the actual standalone stores, were going to go away, and that we would only ever buy things across the web, and that's really not what happened. And so when social started happening, everybody thought that people would stop connecting face-to-face and actually going to the coffee shops anymore, and they would all be doing it through the social web. And that's never going to happen either, so I think that you're exactly right. You have to find this place to live in between, using the social web for what it's great for. I think letting them experience it, as long as you're aware of what they're doing, is absolutely a smart thing to do.
Well, and I think also kids need to learn the etiquette
Right.
of
Or the
what
netiquette,
the
right.
netiquette of what is acceptable and what they should and should not be doing
Yeah.
on the web. And
What's too
so,
personal.
you know, as a parent, I mean, you wouldn't sit there and say, okay, go teach yourself how to drive. You know, we're in there, we're working with them and trying to teach them, you know, what's appropriate, what isn't. And the kids really do need guidance.
Right. Because etiquette is still the same whether it's
Right.
online or in person.
Right.
Yeah, that's really true. And sometimes that actually gets a little confused because people sit actually by themselves when they're on the computer in most cases, and so they feel like there's this level of privacy that people can't see what you're doing. But when you're sharing something on the web, obviously everybody sees it. So parental controls, like what we have in Windows Live, and security settings are all really important parts of understanding how to use the social web and making sure that people stay safe while they experience it.
Being able to aggregate all of it into one place just makes
Absolutely.
it so much easier for parents. I think it's a great tool.
Good. No, I'm happy to chat with you today and talk to you about Windows Live.
Thank you so much. It was great having you.
Thank you.
Mama, don't you know you keep the whole world turning round?
As moms,
As moms, we know how important it is to keep up
That's
with
my
family
line.
and friends. I know, I'm just doing it for you.
well, don't do it for me.
Okay, go ahead.